Obime, and I would be your customer success manager for today. I will be helping with, I would ensure that you'll receive the tools needed to achieve your goals. Then today we would also be learning a lot, and some of the things we'll be talking about are tactics to grow subscribers, campaign strategy for different stages of buyer's journey, and so much more. We are going to be learning a lot today. You're welcome. Without wasting time, I'm going to be introducing our guest speaker. Some of you may know him, but for those who do not know him, his name is Mr. Taiwo Akinseye. He's the CEO and co-founder of Traxen. Good morning, sir. You're welcome. You're welcome, sir. Please, can you unmute yourself so you can speak to everyone?
Okay, thank you very much. If you can see the screen, thank you, Jessica, for organizing this. My name is Taiwo Akinseye. I'm co-founder for Traxend. We decided to do this for our customers, saying that we want our customers to get the best value from using our platform. And as a business, we will be doing this more consistently, at least once or twice in a month, because SMS in itself and the channels that we support beyond SMS, we also support WhatsApp and social DMs. We are in the mobile messaging business, and so there's a lot to unravel and unearth. For marketing teams willing to grow revenue outcomes. But first, Jessica will be sending us. I'll show you a bit of the agenda. We've done the introductions. Please feel free, if any question comes to your mind, feel free to send it in the chat box and send the messages. We're happy. Simple, complex, any question will be welcome. Off topic, off context, we're happy to look at it as well. So knowledge sharing session will be for about 20 minutes. 10 minutes we'll have more like a deep dive into the platform and see how we apply the knowledge shared with the platform. Then we'll leave the remaining 25 minutes for Q&A. We understand that you have a lot to do, so we'll try as much as possible to keep this in 1 hour, and we're done. So first, before we go to the trends, Jessica will be sharing us a link with a code. We want to know how SMS, I know some of you are already using it, and how it has impacted your business. It will be great to see what your responses are like. So, any luck? Now, so I'll just jump right into the trends. Yeah, so we see that engagement rate across for SMS engagement is 6 to 8 times than email marketing engagement, while email serves to be the direct to customer channel that is available, that has been used for a long time. We see that it's declining in terms of the engagement rate, and the need to have another channel that also works and provides more avenue for engagement. According to Attentive Mobile, they've seen that via SMS, customer revenue, the customer have driven about 20.5% of total revenue through SMS. We see that for brands that know how to optimize this channel, I use that word carefully, because the question will be that, SMS can seem intrusive, and I'll be addressing that as well. If for brands that have been able to optimize this channel, they've seen 20 up to 20.5% in total revenue. One of the things that is, we see that open rates really happens within the first 5 minutes of sending that message. So it means that whatever you're sending has to be concise and straight to the point. Another thing that is important to this conversation is that growing a healthy subscriber list is the most important step in a successful SMS marketing program. So please, like I said, feel free to jump on the chat. And so I'll go straight into how to grow subscribers. Now, this is the trick, right? It's a very important tactics, and this is why it's being deployed when you are using this channel. Now, we see that between 10 to 20, there's 10 to 20% average conversion rate on your subscriber list. So what a business tries to do is that what I want to do in terms of my SMS marketing program is to first work on a strategy that allows me to grow my subscriber list. I will explain that with this funnel. Now, typically they call it sales or marketing funnel. It may differ. Marketing funnel is a lot more exhaustive because you map it to the type of marketing channels that you want. For a sales funnel, you map it to the sales channels that you want to deploy, but the same concept still applies, right? So we know that buying decision is not, sometimes can be instant. So if you have say 200 people coming to your point of sale, the rate of conversion, right, especially online, if you have an online store like a point of sale, is you don't get everybody making a buying decision immediately. In fact, what has happened between the time they came to your online store or to your physical store is that they probably have seen something that has been done in the awareness phase somewhere, right, that brought them in. But so what this is saying is that one of the things that you want to do is to, when you're working with SMS, is to first find ways to actually grow your subscriber list. Because what that does is that you have some, what we call a hold on the customer or on the potential customer to be able to re-engage them over time. What that also tells us is that if someone has said, I want to hear from this brand, the likelihood that they will engage with this brand is higher because there was an incentive for them to become a subscriber. So a subscriber is not someone who actually has signed up for your service, but a subscriber is someone who says, I want to hear from this brand, right? And that is what a business is. That's what the business is trying to really work towards, is to say, I want to hear from the brand. I hope that is clear. So that's really the goal. So today we'll be focusing on how to really do that, and we're going to put it vis-a-vis TrackSend. So one of the things that you want to do with growing your subscriber is to run what we call an opt-in. We call it a TrackSend, an opt-in program. Yeah, it's an opt-in program, and there are various ways to go about it. Yeah, I call it channels. You have the offline, you have social, you have email, you have the website, you have your existing contact. I'm going to deep dive into each of them one by one. All right. So if you have if you have a physical store, some of our customers have physical stores and they have online stores. And one of the things you want to do is, you have some people who have just come to window shop, some people who have bought something, but there's an opportunity to upsell more. Some people have visited some parts of your store, and there are other parts that seems to be that will be of interest to them, but they probably didn't visit that part of your store. And one of the ways to get people to is to provide a hook. The hook may not necessarily, from these images you see, they look like promotional or reward hook, but you can have different hook, which I see works. is more of an educational hook, especially for products that requires a bit of education, right? So if you are into beauty products, if you are into products that people would ask a bit of question, they want it to be more personal experience. And this is not just for products that require that personal experience, even products that it's fast, people already know, they just want to buy, right? They don't necessarily need that level of education, right? Then a promotional hook would work. But products that or services that need more of that level of personal touch, you want to provide some level of benefit and say, for example, learn 5 ways to become this in 10 days, right? 10 days to growing your. So this is what you can do. So you can use a USSD to achieve this. So people dial a USSD code, and based on that, you are able to get their information with the USSD, and they're able to opt in for the promo, or they're able to say, I want to hear from you, or they have agreed that I want to hear from this brand. So the more you get people to opt in, the more the quality of your contact increases, the likelihood of better engagement increases, the conversion rate also increases. So this is something you want to do. Now you can also leverage the WhatsApp barcode. There are ways to create WhatsApp barcode that people can use their typical WhatsApp barcode and take a scan, and automatically goes to the WhatsApp handle or WhatsApp profile of the business, right? And they can engage and send a message to say, oh, automatically, so, oh, you want to opt in for this incentive or this program, and say yes. So automatically WhatsApp can now be an extended channel to grab their phone number and to say, this person has agreed to do this person has agreed to hear from me. And you can now from there run. So if you run an educational program to say, if someone opted in, you can now say, I will run a series to say, if for example I've said how to grow this, how to make your skin look very smooth in the next 10 days. Yeah. So you start those different days with different messaging you want to send and what they need to do. On the last day of that series, you now put your promotional message. So this product will be the best to achieve this. Because you have provided benefit and you have value to the customer, the likelihood to convert becomes heightened. So that's really one way to do it from an offline perspective. Yeah, you can use your Instagram account. There are 2 ways to do it. I know some of brands use Linktree and all of that. You can put that particular box to say there is something of value if you subscribe to our SMS list. Yeah, this is the value that you get if you subscribe to SMS list. So the same hook, whether it's an incentive and whether it's educational, you put it there. You find people clicking on that to opt in to get a sense of what you want to send to them via SMS. You also have the swipe up in Insta stories that you can also deploy and use. You can also use your existing SMS, your existing email. So if you use MailChimp, for example, right? So you can use the existing MailChimp or email software that you currently use and send an email campaign to say, this is something we are doing on this channel, the same educational or promotional hook or incentive hook that you want to use. It would differ from brand to brand, but the best way to go about it, I would rather prefer, from what I see work, is to start from an educational hook, then end with a promotional and incentive hook. So you can use social media, and there's also the website bit of things and the ads bit of things. So naturally, for most websites, I'm sure that for people who are not making a buying decision, you're asking them to say, please join our subscriber list, for example. So you can include the phone number and send that information to TrackSend. And TrackSend holds the phone number subscriber list, whilst your MailChimp or your email software tool holds your email subscriber list. and you engage differently on those channels. And this is very important. Now, improving the quality. So what we see, a lot of some customers have asked us, oh, do you sell contact, you purchase contact? No, we do not really, we don't do that. And for obvious reasons, because we know that SMS is not really best for creating, for awareness, right? So if you are shooting a lot of messages to people and that message is promotional, especially if it's unsolicited, it becomes an issue when you want conversion on that SMS that you are sending to unsolicited contact. But if for any reason you're able to purchase contact or get contact one way or the other, what we usually advise that rather than send a campaign to force promotion or to sell promotion or to sell something, why not do more of an opt-in campaign to say, okay, create again an educational hook or a benefit hook or an advocacy hook, and they would opt in to say, I want to hear from this brand. I allow you to send me messages. What that has done is that you have added quality contact to your subscriber list. Again, remember what I said the last time, that if you 10 to 20% would close to sales month on month if you have a healthy subscriber list. So for example, if I have 20,000 people contacting my subscriber list and those contacts are very healthy and have said that they want to hear from me, I would close month to month 2,000 to 4,000 of those people and converting them to actually making a buying decision. So this is like a very important bedrock for your campaign, right? If your subscriber list is not quality or healthy enough, it impacts on the quality of conversion that you want. So, and this is something you want to do as your strategy. You need to create an opt-in strategy that allows you to achieve this result. So if you have a customer base of say 1,000, what you want to also do is growing your subscriber list. As much as you grow your subscriber list, you are moving people from subscribers month to month and moving them to customers. So you have to work on a strategy month to month to grow your subscriber list as much as you're working on strategy to also grow your customer list with other channels, your ad, Facebook, your social media campaigns. But for SMS, it starts with the subscriber list. So I mentioned various tactics. I'm going to the tactics. I'm moving back to going a bit more further into strategy. Now, this is a typical customer journey map. I will not go. These slides will be shared with us. So it's just to make you look at the critical journey map. For some businesses, it's a lot more than this, but really falls under this 4 caveats: awareness, consideration, decision, and retention. But yeah, this is where SMS really helps. It really helps between the consideration and decision stage. So say for a business, someone is about to take a decision, but abandons that decision to buy because of several reasons, right? There are several reasons where moving a subscriber, to making a decision, or moving a first-time visitor to making a decision is usually really the bane of every marketing team. That how, yes, I've been able to do an amazing job moving people and getting subscribers, and now they are about to make a buying decision. How do I, manage this opportunity? So some people use retargeting. So you have tools that allows you to retarget people who have visited, abandoned, so that they can come back in, which is very good. But you need more direct to customer approach that allows them maintain that connection at that level. So I will share a bit of stat with you, and this is not just for e-commerce brands, is that about 70% of averagely of everybody that comes for online businesses, you find that 70% of them abandon carts. Yeah. Now, how do you solve this problem, right? You can't entirely solve it 100%, but you can improve your chances of taking about, say, 15 to 20% of this number down if you are using a multi-channel approach. Yes, so email will do a job of automatically most email engine, e-commerce or CRM engine have a way of sending automatic emails, but some do not have that approach for SMS. Now, if you see, this is a stats done by Message Media on what they see in terms of using SMS and how SMS has turned around the abandoned orders. If you, the best practice is to do 60 minutes after an abandonment takes place. So if you look at this chart, beneath um, the you find the number of minutes, and you see the average orders on the y, the y-axis, the x-axis, which is your horizontal. You see the minutes. Now, for 60 minutes after the abandoned cart, you see that 16 orders were turned around, out of 100 or out of 100 abandonments. So you can see that almost 16% of of an abandoned order or an abandoned process in the journey was recovered because you sent a timely message. And SMS has proven to achieve that a lot more. So that's that for, so TrackSend has a tool that allows you connect directly to your store, that you can send timely messages, not just for abandoned carts. So orders on hold, the person has decided to buy what has not made the payment. What we see typically for e-commerce brand, especially in the Nigerian context, is that when payment fails and is a bit frustrating, the brand is unaware because they don't control Paystack, for example, or Flutterwave, and the customer abandons. So one of the things that we are able to tell when that has happened, and we're able to tell the customer that, okay, we have alternatives for payment here. So if that fails, this is another means of payment. So the customer knows that you are part of his journey and you are helping them, you are supporting them in a way, right? So those messages are going as they are going through the purchase or the order journey. Now, another thing that is very critical is to understand segmentation that we think it would really help and heighten. Now, when you send the same message to everybody, what happens is that your messages are not personalized, and when they are not personalized, what happens is that you reduce the opportunity to convert, right? Because the same message to someone who is inactive is different from the same program that you do for someone who is loyal. So as a business, for some business that we don't have direct connection to their CRM or their e-commerce tool, you want to be able to leverage your Excel, right? And manipulate your Excel in such a way that you are grouping all your customer records and uploading it to TrackSend and saying this customer, this group of customers. So you can have a particular group that has all your customers, right? And typically you send those ones more like updates, what's going on in your business, some important transactional or very important information that you need to know that applies to everybody. But you also want to create a different program for those who are inactive. Inactive are people, a business can define what inactive is. But there's several ways to actually achieve segmentation. So I'm sure that you can see this. There a lot of segmentation that is yet, and that is very important to deploy in your business. But there's a tool that allows you to achieve this very easily. It's called the RFM tool, right? It's recency, frequency, and monetary. So you can now decide to say, how do I define those who are inactive, right? So you create a group and say, I'm going to put in a bucket the people that, for example, some businesses, it can be 3 months, some businesses, it can be 1 year. So promising will be someone who has made an average of purchase of 10,000 naira month to month. So you can see that this is about frequency. Yeah. A monetary will be someone that has made a first purchase. Yeah. So you want to be able to say, who are those who are recently using my offerings, put them in a bucket. Who are those who are using my offerings on a month-to-month or on a bi-quarterly basis? You want to put them in a different bucket and create a different campaign program, right, that you start. For a business, you want to plan what you want to send in a given month, right? And organize it in such a way that what is the entire goal at the end of a month? So it's not like I just want to send every day. This is what I want to send now. I want them to buy. You have to think, okay, I want to win people who are inactive. What can I do? I want to ensure that people who are promising, I want to ensure that I increase their order value from 10,000 to 20,000, right? What can I do? People who are new, I want to ensure that they don't just buy the first time or make a buying decision the first time. I want them to do it over and over again. So you want to put everybody in different buckets. So it's very important that you track your campaigns. Yeah. So when in TrackSend, we have a short URL service, right, that allows you to wrap a short URL around your main URL. Now, we did that because I know that some of us use Bitly. Now, what Bitly tries to do is show you the total engagement and total clicks that you have. But you can still use our short URL for your other channel, Facebook. You can still use it and get. So we've been able to give you enough data that Bitly would give you. We have that data point in our short URL service. But what is interesting about what we have is that you are not just able to track your overall clicks. You are able to track the particular individual that has taken a click action. Now that data point, like I always say, tells a story, and it tells you who has shown a degree of interest in your communication, right? So you want to always wrap, and so if you are able to wrap your URL within a campaign, we're able to tell who has clicked. And again, you are able to retarget those who have taken an action, and you're able to retarget those who have not taken an action. Yeah, so I'll show you how that works in the demo session in 10 minutes. Now, I see that a number of us use WhatsApp, right, and put the phone number of your WhatsApp. Now, while that is also good, but look at the time it takes, this transition between when a user looks at the number and is trying to type your number on their phone, add you as a contact before they communicate with you. It would be a better approach would be to use a WhatsApp link. I'll show you how to create a WhatsApp link. There's a free tool online that I will show you how to do that. Once you create the WhatsApp link, you are able to wrap it around our short URL service, and you're able to track that. However, because some businesses use WhatsApp as the final destination of communication, right? So you want to put that link, because when they click on that link, it just takes them directly to their WhatsApp on their phone, and they're able to engage the business. Yeah, so I'll show you how to do that in the demo session as well. Avoid spamming. So one of the things, if you look at this stats, you see that a survey was taken, and the question was asked that how often would you like to receive marketing text messages from brands that have signed up to hear from you? So 42% said 4 to 6 times per month, which is really, if I would advise any business, is to deploy all your strategy around 4 to 6 times a month, right? Because if you send messages back to back, except their transactional message will say, okay, this is your order number, your order has been processed. More transactional messages, that is fine. You can send as many times as they make a transaction. Yeah. But when it's marketing messages, you want to limit it to 4 to 6 times within a given month, right? So that you don't have message fatigue. Yeah, because once there's a message fatigue, the likelihood of opening is that, okay, it becomes more intrusive. So you want to limit it to 4 to 6 times per month, especially in the Nigeria context where everybody seems to be busy. And, what I see that is best practice is to advise that you stay within the context of 4 to 6 times a month, right? To your different segments as well. So also is to do sustenance campaign, and this is where co-creation comes in with TrackSend. Yeah. So based from brand to brand, we for a more premium plan, you have more like strategy session with us, We can see it with your brand. The same way you run sustenance campaign on your social channels, you also will run sustenance campaign and have like a big idea, like you have big ideas for your social media channels that you will run on a quarterly or a 6-month basis. It's also run that on your SMS channel as well. And the reason is that what you want to do is that you want to create what I call connection, because really people make a lot of buying decision emotionally, right? The realm of logic is really maybe 5 to 10% of what contributes to the buying decision. What really contributes largely to buying decision is a blend of both what we have been able to create in terms of emotional connection, which is what the sustenance campaign tries to do, and vis-a-vis what is logical as to, oh, my product, buy my product is cheap, maybe price and maybe quality. Yeah, those are logical things, but you need to create more sustenance program that creates that connection with your audience. I hope this has been useful. Something that we are bringing on board in November, this is exciting for us at TrackSend, is someone is saying, when would SMS begin to have a bit of image visual aid? We're happy to announce that we're working with one of Google's partners, with the telcos as well, to achieve this. And it's coming upstream on TrackSend next month. So what this does is we're able to, now if you look at the data just beneath where you have Airtel, this is the data we got directly from Airtel as at 2 weeks ago. Yeah, they have 50 million users in their customer base. 40% of that user base use a smartphone. So it shows that largely, and 93% of those smartphone base are Android users. I thought it was iOS personally, but seeing this stats tells us that this is really an opportunity for, and this is vis-a-vis 9mobile, MTN. MTN is actually the largest network, so it's a lot more in terms of customer base than this, but the variance in terms of Android users is almost the same. So tells you that there's an opportunity to provide more visual aid and increase that engagement rate with the rich media SMS. So that's that for, so once you introduce that in your campaign, you also see, and with this you can track open rates, right? The regular SMS, you cannot track open rates, but with this you can track open rates. But again, it's only hardware devices that have this rich media enabled on their devices. So a more unupdated Android software probably wouldn't have that enabled. So this is really good for keeping SMS alive and relevant in the years to come. Thank you very much. I hope this has been helpful. It would be nice to, if we have preliminary questions we can take before I jump on the demo.
Hello. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I just realized, because the Excel sheet for the briefing of our campaign recently came on as at yesterday or thereabouts, and I realized that
Okay. Yeah, I do. Okay, so so three signifies unverified yet. So what did you see DND in those lists as well? Yes. Yes, so that's something that the engineering team will try and create. So once I see that as well. So in subsequent release next week, it will be more explicit. But 3 means unverified. If you are downloading the contact from the contact from the contact. So I'm sure you get an email, right? So it's possible that there are duplicate entries. It's possible that the numbers that you have entered may be invalid. So the system removes invalid and duplicate numbers before it finalizes the upload. So it would be nice to deep dive into your list to say, check, but you usually will get an email to really break down what happened after an upload. So I don't know if that answers your question. Okay, so let me proceed. So let me start very quickly because of our time. In 5 minutes, I'm hoping. So I talked about how to grow subscribers, which will be the direction of our demo session first. It's very easy. It's not a lot. So there is a place called under settings, customize opt-in. Yeah, so you pick this link, copy it. Let me put the appropriate. So once you put this on any of your email channels or your social channels, this link, it launches the opt-in form for people to fill their form. So this is it, yeah? And part of the things it tells them is to remove the DND restriction using the actual code send allow to 2442. They fill that detail, they send it, and it puts the name of the business as well, and they submit it. And when they fill this detail, what happens is that it goes into, if you go to your contact list, there is a particular group called opt-in. Now, so for everyone that opts in, it takes them to this particular group. So if someone fills that form, you see all of their entries in this particular group. And this is where you now begin to run your opt-in campaigns. So this is typically how you do it. But it's really the strategy that you put around the campaigns. Now, another way is to run an opt-in program. Yeah, so Instagram bio, for example, but like I said, you can't just put it there and just say opt-in, right? You must say, you have to say that you have to put an educational hook. For example, find, I know that is Watch Locker, right? Watch Locker is one of our customers. They sell luxury wristwatches. Yeah. So one of the things I see in terms of your promotion is that you are trying to create a luxury feel, right, in your communication, what that is good, but you want to you want to break it down a little bit more and say maybe learn 5 ways to learn 5 ways to live a luxurious life, or live your best life, or something of that nature. Yeah. Sign up. So once they sign up, so they get to the opt-in form, fill it, and they opt in. Yeah. So you have to provide a hook. So you can't just opt in for SMS. No, you have to find a hook or an incentive. Oh, okay. So get 50% or 10% off on our product. When you sign up for text messages or when you sign up for SMS. So find a hook, various hooks depending on the business context. We can co-create and find different ways to find the opt-in hook that allows people to fill that form. So this is the form. You copy it. For those who are on the premium plan, you can see it. I think we are still enabled this for free users. So for free users, so that's how you do it. I hope that answers the question. Now, when you're creating your campaign, yeah, Now, this is for people who have gotten a list that is not theirs or a list that is not solicited, yeah, and you want to rinse it. Even for your existing contact, because you don't even know whether these contacts are really people who are interested in hearing from you. Now, there is a field called here. Now, if you look at this, yeah, once you upload a contact on TrackSend, TrackSend sees all the contacts uploaded as awaiting opt-in contacts. Yeah. So when you upload a contact, because we can't tell, right? So we flag everybody that you upload as awaiting opt-in. Yeah. So there's a way that when you are sending a message, you can add to the message, add an opt-in link. Automatically beneath the message, it asks them to say, if you want to hear from us, opt-in. Yeah, that's one way to do it. One way to do it if you are scared of not getting opt-in, or is to add an opt-out link to say, if you don't want to hear from us. So if you have a contact that you already own that is yours, but you want to really double down into increasing the quality of that contact list, is to add the opt-out link. Yeah. So the people who are opting out, you are doing the exclusion method, right? So the people who are opting out have said, I don't want to hear from you. Don't send me SMS again, which is very important, right? You don't want to send to people that don't want to hear from you. Yeah. So once you have that, people who opt out will not get the messages, even if even if they belong to the list. Once the system flags them as opted out, they won't get messages. So that's a way to raise your contact, especially for people who have purchased contact. If you purchase a contact, please apply the opt-in method. If you have contacts and over time, we are not sure. Some people have had contact for 3-4 years and they are not sure if these contacts are really wants to hear from them. You can apply the opt-out approach. So that's on the growing subscribers and increasing the quality of your leads. The other part is our short URL service. And some of you are already using it. Now, it gives you almost the same data point you would find any in your regular Bitly campaigns. You can see what is going on a week by week basis. You can see location, you can see sources, campaigns from SMS, whether they came from a direct channel, right? So you have all of the data points that you would want to see. Yeah. So it's something that is worth exploring. Now, applying it to your campaigns, I told you I was going to show you how to create WhatsApp link. If you go to w.link, this is a tool that you can use to help you create WhatsApp link. So explore this tool. The free plan just allows you to do what you need to do. So you can create a free WhatsApp link and wrap it to your campaign. Now, so for TrackSend, typically, you give your campaign a typical name, select your short URL, select your sender ID, select your group, yeah, and hello first name, you personalize. We are running, let me just make it easy because of our time. Kindly the URL link as a placeholder to be able to track who has clicked. Kindly click here to purchase this product. Yeah. Now, what this is saying is you have the URL, automatically the system picks this URL, short URL, puts it in, and is unique to the particular contact, and you're able to track. Yeah, if you're sending them to your WhatsApp channel, like I advise, use this. Yeah, and the good thing about w.link is also that You can, remember I mentioned the QR code that you can use in your offline store. They have a way, if you see their plan, they have a QR code option as well, right? So now, if you wrap it around TrackSend short URL, you're able to get your click analytics and all that you want to do. So it's a good tool to deploy if you are really focused on WhatsApp as your final leg of conversion and not your website. Or you are exploring both channels as your final leg of conversion. That is that. How do you retarget with TrackSend? Now there's a part called create follow-up campaigns. I'll tell you how this create follow-up campaign. So this is how you retarget. Now after you send your initial campaign, because you can see two options here. Send to recipient who has clicked on the URL. Send to the recipient who has not clicked on the URL. Now you select this. The minimum we did is 2 days. Remember, I said it's best not to spam. So we try to ensure that you don't send to people back to back every day. It's not the best strategy. So we made it a minimum of 2 days. Yeah. Then select your sender ID. You can still put a URL call to action and put your message there. Then send to, remember that if you're now sending a message to people who have not clicked, you want to send a different message to them. You don't want to send messages to those who have shown an interest. You want to move them forward, right? For those who have not clicked, you want to find a message. I'm sure we have communication experts in our team. A message that gives them a stronger reason why they should take that decision. Yeah. So you put a different message here, and you get them to take that action that you want them to take. So that's how you do it. Now, remember that I mentioned that there are ways to create a segmentation and really send different messages for a period of 1 month. Like plan a 1 month strategy and batch all your messages and send it for a period of 1 month and see the results. Now, TrackSend has what we call number of days elapsed. So say someone just made a first purchase, or someone signed up and has not made the first purchase in my business. So sign up means that they fill the registration form, but they are not yet paying customer. Now, a sign up customer is a customer, but not a paying customer, right? So someone who has paid is now a paying customer. Now you want to say for customers who have signed up, I want to do what they usually call a welcome series. So what you do is that in the people that maybe your Excel sheet, if we are not connected to your CRM, if TrackSend is not connected to CRM, you in your Excel sheet, in a given, you can batch it on a week by week basis and say how many people have signed up this week. Upload them to TrackSend and say, I send this first campaign today, then this number of days, after 2 days, I send the next campaign. You can batch this everything for a whole 1 month, right? 2 days, say you want to run it for 7 days, right? A welcome series for 7 days, which will be like 14 days, right? Or you want to do it for 2 weeks, which will be like for a whole month, because we are breaking it so that you don't spam for 2 days. So you batch everything and run that welcome series to that particular segment for a period of 1 month. I remember, I usually advise that it is at the last day that you create that incentive to buy. So, so that's really an approach, and there are several tactics which we'll be sharing in subsequent webinars on several type of programs that you can run. Right, there are several that you can run that we have in our catalog that we'll be sharing and showing you how this program works and how you can deploy them. So one program is a welcome series program. One program is a win back series program. That's for inactive customers. There are different programs that you can run depending. So this is how you deploy that program on TrackSend. I think the last demo will be how to send timely messages. Now today, TrackSend is integrated to WooCommerce. Shopify, we are integrated to Shopify, but Shopify just brought a new rule around how to work with their billing system. So we intend to sort that out, and in November we'll release. But just to show you how it works on the WooCommerce end of things. Now, if you see the timely messages. Yeah, so these are all the messages you configure at the various stage of the journey. This is when the order has failed. You configure it. Order is on hold. Order abandoned. Now, for order abandoned, one of the things that we see work for order abandoned, especially for someone who has not captured or recovered, is to say if you purchase if you purchase in the next 15 or 20 minutes, we can give you 10 to 15% off on your order, right? Or 5%, depending on how the margin, how healthy margins that the business wants to have. Thank you very much. Demo session over. Quick questions before we go. We have 5 to 10 minutes to end this. So we have 5 minutes for questions. So Jessica, over to you. Hello, Jessica.
Thank you so much. Can everyone hear me? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining us and staying into this time. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, yes. And what are during this time we was said something along the lines of the regular SMS cannot track. I don't know if I'm correct.
Correct.
So the regular SMS cannot track the rate. So how when you the statistic report that we usually get that tells us click and what exactly are we tracking there? If we click on URL, you understand?
Yes, yes. Is it clicks on the URL alone, not the people that are opening it. Correct. Correct. So more people would have opened, but the communication was not strong enough for them to click, right? So to click on your call to action, or they they want to click on it, but they are not making that decision at the time you send the message. So that's why it's important to follow up, right? That's why it's important to send follow-on messages, right? Tied to your initial, so that the customer knows that you are taking them through a journey. Than if it's scattered, right? So when the customer knows that, okay, there's something that this is what looking at, rather than if the communication is different and different is the customer just is fatigued. Except your offering is like gas, like an offering where they cannot really do without, maybe like an Uber, right, which is tied to their everyday living, or your product is more like a service that determines if they would leave, like telco, right, like MTN, like call service, right? So that's a different ball game entirely. But if your offering is not that way, you want to put it in such a way that you are taking them through a journey for each of your campaigns.
All right. Another question is you say presentation that allow text allow opportunity. So if the standard criteria are applicable to all networks or there's no
It's for all networks. It applies to all networks. The code is for NCC, so it's an NCC number that all networks recognize. So if you send allow to 2442, it removes that contact from there. But it's just a Nigerian thing. For other countries, the restriction is not as steep in, but Nigeria is steep, which is a good idea. For TrackSend, we support DND, right? Because you want to only send to people who want to hear from you. That's our principle for TrackSend. And that's how you can really get the success out of your program. It's different. It's different from the URL. Yes, it's not the same. It's a different. It's a unique standard link, but it's public to, and you can use it on all your channels: emails, social, website, anywhere. Yeah. You know, if you remember, I shared in your campaign, when you are creating a campaign, you already have the option to include an opt-in link. So we just, yeah, so we usually advise is that if you are running an opt-in campaign, you can't have like multiple URL, right? You just have only one. So it's either you choose whether you want to, if you are not running an opt-in campaign, then we usually advise not to have more than one link in your message. So you just put in the opt-in link and you are fine. So okay, I would share my screen and show you how to do that. But let me take other question. I will answer that your question so that we can just wrap everything in one, because I want us to leave here maximum in the next 5 minutes. But I would share my screen and show you how that works. But I want to take all questions and wrap them into one. Any other question?
Does any other person have questions? I shared a link in the chat session. If you have questions and you're not able to ask here, can you please send in your question using the link I sent in the chat? I'm going to send it again. So please, if you have questions, you can please send in your question and use the link to ask the question.
What she saying?
Okay, let me tell the guy that I was saying offline. Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
So if we don't have any question, Usang, what I would do is I'm going to do a screen recording on how to solve that and answer your question directly, so that it's clear. But maybe I can do that very quickly in 1 minute. So what you do is if you just want to add the opt-in link, you put in your message. All you need to do is just click on this advanced option and click add opt-in link. And that's how you do it. So it will automatically add it in your message. So, so I'll do a screen recording for you to see as well. I want to thank everyone for attending this session. Please, Jessica is responsible for customer success. We'll be sharing a WhatsApp number that you can reach us on if you have any issue. She's happy to respond and solve all your issues. I'm also on standby for some customers to attend to them. After a while, we'll be expanding our customer success team to be able to attend to more strategic approach in terms of handling all of this. I really want to thank you all. Thank you for doing business with TrackSend. We hope that Traxon will be of value to increasing your revenue outcomes and your engagement outcomes. See you in the next webinar.